Last thing I also wanted to touch on was transporting these. If you've decided that this isn't for you and you want to get it serviced, there are a couple of key things that you absolutely need to be aware of when it comes to preparing these printers to have them shipped. They have ink in them. Well, obviously, they have the ink in the tanks and it's very difficult to get that ink out, okay? But what they do have is a certain number of design features in them that allow you to ship things properly. The first thing is this down here. Can I get that further over? It has two positions. One is the printing position. That's the one you'll have it in most of the time. And the other one is the maintenance position. Now what that does, this one here, this position crimps. This thing here basically puts a pinch on the tubes inside and stops the ink going back and forth within the print head. So it stops ink being forced out through the print heads and creating an unholy mess. So if you're shipping your printer, perhaps you're selling it for servicing, then make sure it is in that position. That's the first one. The second is this little thing here actually holds your print carriage in position and stops it from moving around or being slammed about. It holds it still. Okay, so what you need to do is take that out, and you see these two little lugs, they go, you can just see here and here, there are little indents and this slot. You need to make sure your lugs pointing towards the front, and then they will go in like that. Make sure your print head is over in the right hand side, and then you can do that. Now, as you can see, that stops the print head from moving around. Now, not convinced that's very secure, okay? If you put that down, then that thing should hold it in position. But I would probably get a couple of pieces of tape like this, just to make absolutely sure that that doesn't come up and that print head doesn't come adrift. Okay? That should, in inverted commas, should help to keep your printer from spilling a lot more ink. The last point I want to make, I would actually advise against sending any ink with the printer unless you have made sure that the tops are on properly. And then what I would do is actually put them into 1 or 2 plastic bags individually so that any ink, if it does spill, is contained. Ziploc bags, good strong ones, particularly useful, but I'd probably do 1 or 2 layers so that they don't leak. That's why we've got so much ink on our flipping desk, our workbench, because it just wasn't secured properly. So please learn from their mistakes and secure both the ink flow and also the print head so that it's got a much greater chance of surviving and actually getting to a service center or somebody who's bought it off you on eBay or wherever. Okay? I hope that's been useful in particular, because I know some of you will probably be like, you know what, forget it. I'm just gonna buy a new printer and sell this one.